So one of the biggest things that I'm a massive fan of with golfers is reducing and simplifying the backswing position. So over my years of golf coaching, I know that if I can get a golfer in a very simple backswing position where we're not overcomplicating anything, then the downswing is going to become so much better. And the way you can do that is quite simply often with inside the width of stance. You see, what happens is I get a lot of people that come through the door and they'll stand something like so. They'll have this really narrow stance. Now the problem is from here is you've got no stability, right? You've got no interaction with the ground itself, and we need to make sure that we change that, because then what happens is golfers end up moving unnecessarily and just rotating around back and forth, and we don't want that. What we want is a base. And what I want you to do is, even if you treat it as like a drill, go wider, okay? Go wider than shoulder width, okay, like so. Now, what would happen is if you went really wide, it would make it really difficult for you to finish on that lead side. But I don't think that's a bad thing, and it's certainly not a bad thing to experiment with. You see, if you can go wide and then get the feeling of throwing your arms down, that could make a massive difference to how you hit the ball. And it's certainly, like I say, something that I generally am experimenting a lot with students at the moment, is instead of allowing them to have a narrow or even conventional stance, what I'm saying is let's go wider. Go wider just for a little bit, get the feeling of lifting the club up and throwing it down. And what starts to happen is golfers start to improve the quality of the contact, get just as much distance as they were previously with less movement, and they start to build much more confidence continuing that. Now, like I say, I'm not advocating that you stick to a ridiculously wide stance permanently, but a good reference is if you were to draw a line vertically through either hip, it should fall on the inline of the ankle. And this gives you a wider base, gives you a better interaction with the ground, and it makes the lower body feel like it's doing the job which it's supposed to do, which is create more sort of interaction. Stay quieter, keep this leg flexed, and then start to use your arms more in the golf swing. Because like I say, over my years of coaching, I have seen more and more golfers come through this door where they're excessively moving around, they get stuck. Go wider, lift your arms up, throw your arms down, and you might just be really surprised with the results. And like the late and great Mo Norman, he knew this. He had a wider sort of stance. Lots of golfers that do this, and then that way it just improves that interaction, quietens down the lower body to a point where there's no unnecessary movement, and it could just change your swing. I'll see you soon.